This is the second video to section 2.7 discussing standard deviation and z-scores. In statistics, we let z equal the number of standard deviations from the mean that a certain data value is. We can use these two formulas here to solve for our sample z-score or our population z-score. Let's take a look at example 26. We have 3 students, their individual GPA scores, the school average GPA, and the school standard deviation. We need to find the z-scores for each student. We are going to use our formula for our z-score. So we need to take the students' GPA, their individual data point. We need to subtract the mean and divide by the standard deviation. So our first student's z-score is a negative 0.625. We'll continue this for the following students. So our second student has a z-score of a positive 0.6, whereas our last student, Kamala, has a z-score of a positive 1.5. So this means Kamala has the best GPA since it is the most standard deviations away from her school's GPA. Our first student is a little bit under the school's average GPA. Our second student is 0.6 standard deviations above the school mean, but Kamala by far has the greatest standard deviation since she's 1.5 standard deviations away from the school mean. Let's move on to the next page. Just like with the mean, when we have grouped data, we can find a grouped standard deviation as well. Below, you'll see step-by-step directions that allows you to find the standard deviation of grouped data. Below, in example 27, we are given a table that gives the percent of children under 5 considered to be underweight. What is the best estimate for the mean percentage of underweight children? Using our graphing calculator and entering this data in the list, we will find our sample mean to be about 26.57, and we'll have our sample standard deviation about 8.54. Keep in mind, when a data point is unusual, that means it falls more than 2 standard deviations from the mean in either direction. In order to find which intervals would be considered unusual, let's figure out the borderline for those unusual endpoints. We'll add 2 standard deviations to our mean and subtract 2 standard deviations from our mean. And when we do this, we'll get 43.65 and 9.49. So that means any data point that falls above 43.65 or below 9.49 would be considered unusual. If we take a look at our highest group here, the midpoint for this group is higher than our borderline value for unusual. So we can assume that this country here has an unusually high percentage of underweight children. And that is the end of our second video for our section 2.7 notes.